changing it up today. Alright, mixing it up today. I am back from Orleans. It's not the morning, it's the afternoon. Was it like 5 or something? No, it's gotta be well after 5. Pretty sure I clocked out pretty close to 5. So I'm back, feeling a little better than yesterday. And I have PH later. I'm back. Seniors event was today, a lot of shout outs. Bryce was first, then Guy on table 36, then a guy on table 38, and then the guy who walked by table 40 as I was dealing it. Montana was in the house. I don't remember his actual name. We played together at MGM before. Oh, 2 guys at the same table. One was wearing a Seahawks hat, one was wearing a Lions hat. So of course I was trying to think of players who played for both teams. I came up with Adrian Peterson and John Kitna. Yeah, so shout outs. I think that covers everybody. And yeah, only dealt that. I don't even know if there was a 4. Was there a 4 p.m. getting going as I left? I don't think so. I think there must have been a 6 o'clock, but either way, whatever. That's all I dealt. So I'm back. I'm going to tell you Planet Hollywood paycheck information. And I'm going to get, I have my notes together. I'm going to go to someplace. There's music playing downstairs. I think the monorail hallway is the best bet right now. The roof, it's way too light out. It's still light out at like 8:30 these days. So I think I'm going to go to the monorail hallway and tell you some paycheck information. Stay tuned because there were tournament downs in this last pay period, but no mixed game series, just our daily tournaments. Much different number. Was it more? Was it less? Was it the same? Well, it's not the same because I just said much different number. Was it more or was it less? You got to stay tuned to find out. In addition to some other paycheck information, got ironed out. My Orleans schedule wasn't all that smooth of a process, but not going in tomorrow. I am going in Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Wednesdays and Thursdays, absolutely no problem. Don't have shifts at PH those days. And yeah, I'll be there for the Sunday special, the rebuy tournament. There are other tournaments on Sunday, but that's the big one. Very busy early on. And I think we don't have a 4 p.m. tournament because of that. That starts at 11, and the next tournament starts at 6, right around the time registration is closing on the Sunday special rebuy add-on tournament. So, yeah. Tonight PH, tomorrow night just PH, Sunday both, Monday just PH, Tuesday just PH, Wednesday just Orleans, Thursday just Orleans. That's my next few days. And yeah, because Wednesday and Thursday I don't even need to go to Paris. I don't even have to, I might go to Paris in addition Thursday, might work a double by choice, but don't need to think about keeping the streak going. So the streak officially, yeah, I still don't really think it makes sense to say I missed that Wednesday, but I'll say it, whatever. Maybe next year if I have 2 positions, I'll come up with a better rules layout for like working 2 shifts on the same day or something. So I missed Wednesday. Thursday began a new streak that was 1, and today, even though I still have work left, I'll go to Planet Hollywood later, I worked Orleans. That covers today. So right now, middle of the video, the streak is at 2. However, what's the total? Today is a Friday. That makes it, it started on a Friday. If today's another Friday, what is that, 22 days? 22. So I've worked 21 of the 22. That's the total. And my streak right now is at 2. But looking forward to the next, what is it? Saturday, Sunday is 2. Monday, Tuesday, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like the next 11 days, I don't even need to think about it. I'll have shifts at PH and Orleans. Don't need to think about Paris to keep the streak going. So it looks like I'll be minimum at 13 days. Just need time to come by and pass, but starting another streak. So there you go. So I'm gonna put on different clothes because these pants really lock in the heat, and then I'll tell you some paycheck information in the hallway to the monorail platform. All right, chose to film on the walk to work. Never walked all the way through the flamingo habitat, but I just did, and Flamingo Valet is right here. Kind of a mess to drive through, but I'm walking through. Anyway, pay. Planet Hollywood paycheck. So here we go. The hours were exact, which should be when they're rounding to the nearest 15 minutes, and I could also check off, in which I do, as soon as I get back to my room after my shift. Orleans, not rounding, you know, you're going to the minute. There's going to be not every minute divided by 60 minutes in an hour. Not every minute, not every shift is going to be a very nice decimal. Going to be a few minutes off. Planet Hollywood should be exact, it was. However, I got a little more money in wage than I thought. Of all my hours, I thought only 1 was overtime. Apparently 3 were. I don't think it was wrong. I think there's something I'm not privy to that triggered 2 more overtime hours than I thought. I don't know, with all these shifts happening on 2 calendar days, including the one at Paris. Paris didn't just happen on 2 calendar days, by the way. Paris was on 2 weeks. I clocked in around 7 p.m. on Thursday, which is the final day of the week for payroll purposes, and ended on Friday. So just something along the way, I guess, triggered 3 hours of overtime. I thought it was only 1. So I wound up getting about $15 more in wage as a result of the 3 overtime hours that I got, not the 1 I thought I was going to receive. What's next? Tips can be wrong. The cash tips, I cash out, I take home at the end of the shift. That can't be wrong, it's not in the paycheck. But I earned it during that pay period, so that's why I'm telling you about it. What was the issue last time? All my hours were under the tip compliance last time. It should be all hours minus hours spent dealing tournaments. So this time it's progress, I guess. All but 5 hours should have been under the tip compliance, and it was all but 2.5. So there should have been 2.5 fewer hours under the tip compliance. I mean, the money is negligible. The 2.5 hours that the tip compliance applied to, that it shouldn't, that meant about, I don't know, $35 was added to my gross pay that shouldn't have been. But that's not what it cost me when this mistake happens. When $35 more is added to my gross pay, what it cost me is the amount that's withheld as a result. So about 15–16% of the gross pay is withheld for FICA, federal tax, Medicare, things like that. So I mean, it was like $6 or something was withheld that shouldn't have been. Yeah, it's a mistake, but it's not very severe. I'll let my boss and my boss's boss know it's still happening. It's something that happens outside the poker room, though. It's an accounting thing. So I'll let them know that there's still an issue, although for me, especially not dealing many tournament downs, it's not a very severe issue. And yeah, I say progress because in my first check, all hours were applied to the tip compliance. So this, not all of them, but still not the correct number exactly. So I'll just keep them updated on that. Interesting though, tournament pay. So the mixed game series was over in this pay period. I did deal the daily tournament. We actually started with 4. When Planet Hollywood opened, we had 4 daily tournaments. Now we have 5 because they're pretty popular. The only one I ever deal with is the last one of the night, the 10 p.m. start time. And I deal about 1 per day, sometimes 0, sometimes 2, but about 1 per day. So in the mixed game, in the pay period that involved that Alan Kessler mixed game tournament series, I dealt a lot of tournament downs. And I said the pay was $9.33 per down. Down is about a half hour. Now that that's done, and it was just our daily tournament, I got about $16.54 per tournament down. You know what it is? Which is ironic because there's a lot less money going around. Like we had 100 player fields in those mixed game tournaments sometimes. I think the most we ever had was like 46 entries to rebuy tournaments. 46 entries, not necessarily 46 people, but it's usually like 30, in the low 30s. It just doesn't take very long. So even though there's less money, there are way fewer downs that you need to spread that money over. You know, not as much money, but you're dividing that money by a much smaller amount of downs. I think once it went past 3 hours. I remember once I was pretty far into my shift, a guy left the table for a minute. I was on a table not near the table we used for the final table of the tournament, and I didn't have a good view of it either. And a guy left the table, came back in a minute, and gave an update on his friend who was at the final table of the tournament. I was shocked it was still going on. I think that was the day we had like 46 entries, and it lasted for a while, and no one wanted to make a deal, so they played it out to a winner. But usually, it only lasts about 3 hours, so it's just not very many downs that you need dealers dealing in order to complete the tournament. So without the mixed game series, yeah, pay was about what both floor people told me. Both floor people told me early on about 17 they expected, and right now when I go into work, I'll tell one of those floor people is only working at Paris until the series is over. The other I see almost every shift. So I'll tell him it was very close to that number that he told me like the second day Planet Hollywood was open. So that's interesting, and that is pretty good. I know recently at MGM, I think it's like $10, $12 a down. I don't know Aria. I don't know people that well at Aria to ask. I remember asking a few people at Bally's. I don't remember what the answer was. It was a while ago, but yeah, so that's pretty good for a daily tournament to be getting $16.54 per down. So I'll see what it is in the next one, but all in all, the main thing's a little bit more in pay because of those overtime hours I didn't know were coming in, and slightly less in net pay because a little more was withheld because of that tip compliance accounting thing. But all in all, I got about $7 more than I expected. If I just waited till I got my paycheck to see the tournament pay, because I had no idea what the tournament pay was going to be. But then seeing the paycheck inserted the tournament, what's running around? Okay, rats are just running around these trees. Waiting until I got the check and then inserting the tournament pay exactly, and then adding, you know, my estimates on wage and overtime and withholdings and things like that. All in all, I got about $7 more in this check than I expected. So that's cool. $7 up, $7 down. Not a big difference. If it were like hundreds of dollars off, that would be a problem. But just keeping you up to date on everything. And the big thing in this video, the tournament pay. Very interested to see what that will be next pay period also. Because yeah, it's pretty rare. Ideal none, but ideal enough to get like some data that's worth looking at for each pay period. Each pay period is 2 weeks. This was the pay period May 23rd to June 5th. So in the next pay period, June 6th through June 19th, I guess there will be around the same 10 to 15 tournament downs, enough data that it's worth looking at. If I just dealt like one tournament down over the 2 weeks, I don't know, I wouldn't even put any stock into it. I wouldn't really care, but you know, about one tournament down per shift, it's as much data as I could really get. So that's the interesting number that I never really know beforehand what it's going to be. I know the wage, I know the hours, I know the tips I bring home. I know in a no income tax state about 15-16% from each check will be withheld for all the reasons they need to withhold things. The tournament down is really the big like question mark. So interesting to see that without that mixed game series, $16.54 per down for this pay period. And remember, no, video's not over yet. I wanted to be clear about something. My shift is over now from PH, but I wanted to be clear about this. I've been filming in the Flamingo Valet, what I would call the South Valet. It's very close to the Cromwell Valet. Hope I don't get run over. That valet I was using earlier to film, where I said I've never walked through the flamingo habitat fully. That's like a second valet. I would call it the East Valet in Flamingo. So I've been in one of the Flamingo Valets before, but that one I filmed in earlier had never been there. And as long as I have you, and cars aren't killing me, I'll give you shout outs from the shift I just had. Tom's friend, I don't remember his name, but he's from Bangor, Maine. Also at the table was Brian. Also at the table, Brian's still playing by the way. Also at the table, HK from Texas. Interesting. Tom and his friend were talking about the channel, and HK said to me, who are you? What's your channel name? And then I said Vegas Poker Nomad. He said, oh, that's you? So he knew about the channel, but didn't recognize me. So shout out to everyone I met in the poker room today. And that's gonna be a wrap on this video. Actual outro now. And remember, rice is a spoon food.